Welcome to Ask a Puppy Trainer Show. This is where we answer all of your questions about puppyhood. I'm Bethany.
And I'm Sparky from the Puppy Academy. We're excited you're here. And now let's get to the show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ask a Puppy Trainer Show. You've got just me today. I am Bethany. This is Pickles. He's a newbie. He's a little whiny and a little anxious. I'm not sure he's going to last too long, but he sure is cute. What I'm going to try is I'm going to try just a little bit of massage, and I'm going to see if he can calm down some of his excitement anxiety. He's brand new. I don't think he's even been in this room before, and that can make a difference as well. Okay. Anyway, guys, why don't you put your questions down below in the comments section? Please include the age and breed of your dog. Are you going to be able to settle? Can you help me? Okay. All right, I'm going to jump right in. It's Casey says, 6-month-old mini golden doodle started crying overnight. Suddenly, I'm guessing, 2 a.m. He was sleeping through the night before. Okay. All right, make sure that's the only one. 6-month-old mini golden doodle crying overnight. So, honestly, they do get kind of a burst of energy around this age, and it's very possible that your dog, much like babies do this too, is being more easily woken up. So there could be something outside. It could be you snoring. It could be a number of things that your adolescent dog is more sensitive to. And so they're waking up. And so that really could be it. To kind of oversimplify it a bit, if I'm in the bed and my dog is relatively next to me in crate, I would honestly just be like, no, and I would just tap the front of crate or the top of crate and see if they'll knock it off and just settle right down. Now, if they won't and they're escalating and they're really getting worked up, you might try a potty. Like maybe, oh my goodness, are you not going to be able to calm down? Are you not going to be able to? Let's try. Let's try. Shh. You might try taking them out, and if they pee and potty right away, maybe you've gotten a little lax with your water routine, or maybe they're playing more at night and drinking more. Like, you have to be a little bit of a detective and kind of figure some of that stuff out. That could be the case too. My border collie, about once a year, he seems to get into something. It happened again recently, and he'll have diarrhea for a day and have to go out in the middle of the night for a couple of nights. And always, it takes a couple of days for us to be like, no, you're fine. Oh my goodness, you're fine, and go back to place and lay down. In your case, it would be crate. Dusty's 12 years old. That's my point, is even at that age, they'll kind of get in the habit of being able to do something, and then now it becomes a habit. So be a detective and really quickly try to decipher if it's potty related. You'll know, because if you take them out for a couple of nights and then kind of tweak the water routine possibly, then just try that. No, and tap the top of the crate and then see if he's good. If you have an accident, then you've got to dive deeper into the food and water related issues. Okay. So I don't know if you guys can notice, but this little guy, Pickles, he settles. He's about 5 months old. He settles when he's able to lick me. It's pacifying him a little bit. There's nothing wrong with pacifying your puppy. So if the question was, oh, my puppy always needs to be chewing on something, is always licking us, always jumping on us, they're overstimulated. And it's not bad to give them a bone. It's not bad to kind of try to calm them down, let them lick you a little bit, but don't make it a habit, because if you're always depending on that coping mechanism and you're not working on excitement anxiety, that's all this is. He's new. He's never been in this room before. He's a good little dog. He's just got a little excitement anxiety. If you guys heard that. He's not used to being still, in a certain area and being expected to be calm. And so if boredom isn't practiced without always having a pacifier, you'll have a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-month-old that's just chomping at the bit all the time. They always have to be doing something, licking you, jumping on you, chewing something. And if you don't give them something to chew, they chew something else. So just something to kind of keep in mind. It seems like it might be always distracted. That doesn't count. I start to say, hey, he's calmer, but no, he's distracted. So we'll see how much longer Pickles lasts. I'm giving him a slow massage with my fingers just to try to calm him down and settle him. So we'll see how that goes. Okay. I've got a question on here. Let's see if I can bring that up. I've got a question on Instagram. Again, guys, you can give me questions. Since I just joined, it won't bring it up yet. All right. I'll give that a second. Let me jump to sent in questions. Let's see. Shih Tzu Paws says, our puppy is trained to potty on pads. In her crate, she's been doing number 2 off of her pads for the past few days. Thank you. Any ideas? Well, I kind of need age to be able to give you better accuracy, but I'm guessing this is a giant crate, like a big crate where there's room for puppy pads and room for the puppy. If I'm misunderstanding you and there's not puppy pads in there, she's just going in her crate. Something's changed, something's off. It could just be a developmental change due to hormones, and you have to adjust her food and her exercise. It can become a habit very quickly to go in your crate on or off the pads. If you do have a large crate and you're using it kind of like a playpen, then you need to put puppy pads down in more areas of the crate. That way they're not getting into the habit. I think Pickles is habit. That way they're not getting into the habit of going on the bottom of crate. So you need to add another puppy pad or 2 right away if that's what you're doing, treating a large crate like a playpen. But if you're not and they're just going in crate, you have to reevaluate the schedule. More outings, more well-timed exercise. You might need to change up your feeding time. Is your feeding time different depending on your training? Like that could be it as well, that you need to kind of tighten up. So you have to kind of be a detective and go through all of the, all the potty changes and kind of deduce what's going on. Maybe they can hold it for a little bit longer. And so what's happening is they're not going, right before bed like normal. They're going in for a nap or going to sleep and then waking up and pottying when normally they'd go earlier, or later because they're overstimulated. Like you just kind of have to be a detective to decipher those things, because it's all potty training is figuring out the schedule for your puppy and preventing it from happening. That's what potty training is. Okay, let's see if that question came up. Because I joined late, it's not showing me the question. Can you read it for me, Kimberly, please? Because I saw your question on Instagram. Kimberly pointed it out. What we got?
1-year-old Yorkie starting potty training and sometimes accidents. What should I do?
1-year-old Yorkie, okay, is having potty accidents. What should you do? You got to get on a schedule. And so it doesn't matter the age of your dog. It really doesn't. You got to get on a crate schedule. And so your puppy, and a Yorkie is small. So it has to be a small crate or a crate with a divider, because a Yorkie needs like this much space. It's a very small amount of space. Turn around, lay down, stand up, stretch out a little, and that's it. You don't want them pacing. And you just got to get on a schedule. If you're struggling with issues, I would start with a 1-year-old. I'd probably start 2 hours, which seems crazy, but it would be 2 hours, potty break, feed, or water, train, play, and then another potty break, back in crate for a couple of hours, and then rinse, repeat, do that all again. If they have an accident, because it's an older puppy and it's confused on, what it's supposed to do, this is going to take a week or so to kind of build the expectation of, they're going to take me out every time I come out of here. And every time I'm out with everybody, I go potty before I go back in. And it takes that time to learn for them to learn that they're going to get plenty of times to go outside. Then they will start to choose to go outside most of the time. Since you're dealing with a 1-year-old, you might have a bit of a learning curve, especially it depends on how they're doing in crate, but that's what you got to do. You have to get on a schedule. Okay. Let's see. Amy Lynn says, so we had a video that she was commenting on, and one of the comments was, when I back tie, which means like taking a leash to your puppy and back tying them to something like the couch or the kitchen table, in an area. Sometimes dogs don't do well with a playpen, and back tie can be a good option. She just chews on her leash or whatever she's laying on. That's normal, honestly. She's a puppy, and that's normal. Even if she was just dragging around her leash in the house, which is what we suggest when your puppy is out with you, it's really important. Go buy some cheap leashes because they're absolutely going to chew and you're not always going to catch them. And I don't know the age of your puppy, but you're going to want to just, under 16 weeks old, you're going to want to just redirect to something else. You can say no, if you want, but you're really going to want to redirect. But if they're chewing like crazy on the leash or whatever she's laying on, typically I would say, well, your puppy may not be ready to be back tied yet, but that's not necessarily true. Honestly, she could just be really bored. I would just do more mental work and physical work before you back tie her and calm her down nicely first and give her something to chew on. So give her a nylabone. Don't give her a fluffy dog bed. Okay, she can lay on the floor or you could do a cot. She might chew on a cot too, but she's not going to do as much damage. So you could get a cot, you could give her a nylabone, something to chew on. You got to be in the room. And if you're moving around like crazy, if you're busy doing chores, she's not ready for that yet. Put her in crate. But if you're just hanging out at your computer working, something like catching up on bills, something like that, have her out there back tied with you, give her a nylabone. And as soon as you catch her like chew, 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 you can just redirect her, like just right then and there. And here's the bone, chew on this. There you go. That's going to work for puppies, usually 16 weeks and under. If you're dealing with a little bit older than that, you're kind of getting into adolescence. And it's a little bit of a different ball game. And so I think I'm going to stick with the younger puppy advice and go from there. Let's see. Isabel. My 4-month-old puppy is, I think this is the same person. My 4-month-old puppy is mostly potty trained, rings a bell, but now she rings it 45 times a day just to go outside and roam. Help. Okay. So this is why channel Sparky. I don't know if you guys are on here for the first time. I usually have a partner in crime, Sparky. He hates the potty bell for this reason. Every time someone asks about the potty bell, I'm so nice about it because I've seen it work really well for some people. Just like potty pads can work really well for some people with small breed dogs. They really like them. The potty bell can work too. And he's like, no. It's horrible. This is what you're going to be dealing with. Don't use it until your dog is way over and more mature and blah, blah, blah. It's because of this. The people that I know, the 2 trainers that I know that use potty bell effectively, they do go through a correction period when they feel the dog is old enough, which is usually, I think, around more like 5-6 months. Like you want a little bit more age on the dog, but they'll correct the puppy for ringing it if they have just gone outside and pottied and came back in and ring it again. Like they'll do like a correction period. And I'll be honest, I don't know anything about that. Like I know enough to understand the concept of why that works, but not enough to give advice to you guys. And that's why we don't recommend the potty bell until teach it as a trick. But don't give your puppy the freedom to do it until they are at least an adolescent and are in like a really good groove already with you taking them outside, stopping at the door, like all that stuff. Because of this reason. So I'm afraid I'd love to give advice. It's so hard not to because I know a little bit about it, but I'm afraid I don't know enough about it to be able to help you, especially a 4-month-old. I mean, if I'm Sparky, I would just say, stop using it for a period of time and put him on leash and make it more structured. When we go out for potty, we come back inside. We go out, we do training, we do play, we come back inside, make that more structured for a little while and see if that curbs the hump of it. Okay, moving on. Let's see. I don't have any more questions today on Instagram. Luckily, I have a ton here. I'm going to jump to a YouTube question. Hiya, YouTube. How long can a puppy be in crate overnight? So this was a video that we did. It's in our feed. You can find it on YouTube. And then the question from Clara was 15-week-old Cavapoo puppy. Okay, so this is young. So this is a baby puppy. Cavapoo puppy won't sleep longer than 10 p.m. to 4:45 a.m. That's 7 hours. That's good. That's really good. I already know it's pretty good. Okay. All right. We're on the same page, Clara. But even when we take him out for a potty at, almost 5 a.m., give him some water, he refuses to go back in his crate without throwing a tantrum. He requires a full hour outside, walk, breakfast, chew toy, before he can settle again inside his crate for another 2-hour nap. Is this normal? Are we hoping for too much? Could you get us an extra half an hour of sleep? Oh, bless your hearts. Okay. Man, all right. This is tough. I'm with you, because 15 weeks, I'm like, come on, can't I stretch it a little bit? Come on. But honestly, 10 p.m., like, you guys are so solid. You're like solid human beings. That's my goal in life, is to go to bed at 10 p.m. consistently. I would say I would push it. I would absolutely push it to 10:30. And this is what I mean. If you put your puppy in crate and you're brushing your teeth, getting a drink of water, taking your vitamins, like checking your email, if there's anything you're doing between like 10 and 10:30, do it all first and push that potty another 30 minutes. Like, it should be the absolute last thing that you do. Like, you can slip your, I don't know if you got a robe, you're going outside. I don't know if you're in an apartment. I know that's tougher, but I've absolutely been in a robe when I lived in an apartment, in sandals, going outside, taking, my puppy for a potty break back when I had Happy. She's 17 now, and she was very difficult to potty train. And so she is a perfect example. She had to go out at the very last second. So that would be one thing that I would suggest if you're not already doing that. The other thing is, I probably, this might sound mean, but I probably wouldn't even get him water at 4:45 a.m. I would probably take him out really briefly. I might not even let him on the ground. I don't know if it's a big dog, Cavapoo. I might pick up the puppy, put him on the ground, let him pee, not even give him a poo chance even. Pick him back up, put him in crate, shut the door, and see if I can, tap the top of crate. If he gets kind of fussy, you might try that. I'm not saying it's going to work. This is just something you could try. And don't turn any lights on if you can help it. If you got a little night light, just so you can get from point A to point B, and that's it. That's really all you can do right now. Because a lot of times, if they start to see the sun come up, some dogs have such a strong circadian rhythm, like people too, when we don't screw ours up, that as soon as they see the crack of the sun, they are awake. And so maybe that's an issue as well. Maybe you need to, if you have a walk-in closet, that's where the crate is going. If you have a laundry room, that's where the crate is going. That's kind of last ditch effort. If some of these other things don't work, is that you are shifting him to a room that is either darker for longer or is just not where you're gonna, hear him circle around and be awake, and let him just chill out before you decide to get up, which is why I mentioned like a laundry room or something like that. Okay. Feel free, Clara, to write back like any responses, any follow-ups that you have, because I'm having to kind of decipher some things. All right. AC Cat says, my Giant Schnauzer puppy, so standard Schnauzer those are the giant ones, is 18 months old, still very mouthy, especially when I get home from work. He doesn't bite hard. I think he's just trying to play with me like I'm another dog. I think he is broken, which I'm going to assume is like, ha ha ha. So, he doesn't think you're a dog. He's just disrespecting you, because he is just disrespecting you because it's been allowed, or because he's just excited and no one's told him no in a way that has gotten through to him. So sometimes when dogs are like that, they are absolutely being pushy and disrespectful, but sometimes it's actually not on purpose. It's not from dominance. It's truly from just being so excited, and the human hasn't been able to find a way to teach them, no, you don't treat people like that. You can go play with other dogs, but you can't treat people like that. So what I would suggest, this is an 18-month-old dog. So this is full-blown adolescent, almost adult dog. Is this dog on a slip leash or a martingale dragging a leash when you come home? Because if they're running around the house, is someone home before you? And that way, when you walk in the door, you're going to freeze immediately. Just close the door for safety. You're going to freeze immediately. And let's say you've got the leash. You're not even going to grab it right away, because you got this giant dog coming at you and you bend down to grab the leash. You don't want to do that. So what you're going to do is you're just going to freeze, holding all your bags and everything. And when they like are coming at you excitedly, you're going to go no and take one step forward and stop. And so you're going to complete the step. So if this is your feet, you're going to go no, pause. So it's just one complete step forward. Okay. And then he's going to, this is going to seem silly, but like if he's not even jumping on you, he's just nudging your leg, especially if he's jumping, but he's just nudging your leg. No. Okay. He goes around to your behind. He's like, where you been? What have you eaten today? And he goes around to your behind to sniff you. You're going to turn, and he physically touches you. You're going to turn around. No, step in towards him. Just one step. And you're going to probably make contact because he's not going to know what you're doing. He's not going to know that you're asking for space if you haven't done that before. No, move in. Once he kind of calms down a little, and your hands are just, you can cross them or leave them to your sides. But here's the tricky thing about leaving your hands to your sides, guys. If your puppy bites you, this is a giant puppy. This is a dog. This is a dog biting. It's just a excited bite. When you do this, because it's uncomfortable, you're just creating more drive in the dog. Okay. And so you have to tough it out and keep your arms down and lock them and be stiff. And if they come up and nibble your hand, don't use your hand, use your leg. No, and bump into them and keep your hands down. Or you can cross them if that's something, if you're very flighty with your hands, and a lot of people are. Okay, so there's that. Then once the dog kind of pauses for a second, then pick up the leash. Take 2 steps. Walking causes stimulation. So does talking. Don't talk. Don't like none of that. Just 2 steps. He gets excited again. Pressure straight up in the air with the leash. Calm down. Calm down. If you have a leash. If not, you just take 2 steps and repeat everything I just said. Relax the leash. Take 2 steps. Take 2 steps. And you just rinse and repeat this until he calms down significantly. Another way that this will really help you, it'll really put the pieces together for him, is teach place in a balanced way. Thank you for the hearts, Instagram. Is you teach place. You teach it with food, sit down, all of that, 360, walk around him with food, all that good stuff. Then I want you to, TikTok is talking to us over here. Then I want you to set up where he'll step off. So you take a step back, he steps off, move in, no, place. And so you can look up balance training, just balance training for place. You can look that up really easily and sorry, I'm distracted because TikTok is talking to us about something. So you can teach that really easily where if I move in, the dog moves back and calms down. And so place is a great way to teach that. Really quickly, place means go to this boundary and stay. It cannot be a giant edge of carpet. It can't be. It's supposed to be go somewhere and settle. It's like calm on command, okay, which is a phrase that another trainer coined for this. It's great. Calm on command, go to the spot, lay down and stay. So it needs to be some sort of boundary. Dog beds are great. We like to train it on cots. I see such a huge improvement. Even if dogs are uncomfortable on cots, some of them are. They don't really like the way they feel, but it is so great to teach place on a cot or some sort of platform. But anyway, dog bed has to be some sort of boundary. If you travel, use a kitchen mat. You can go anywhere with that, but it needs to be some sort of boundary. Okay. 8-week-old puppy barks and whines in her crate. Maybe it's my fault because I would let her sleep with me and lay in my bed in the beginning, but when I got a crate, I started putting her in. Sorry, Robin. Yes, it's your fault. However, a lot of puppies do that anyway. An 8-week-old puppy, how long did you have this puppy? If you got him at 7 weeks and slept in your bed for a week, that's very young. And so you're going to have some attachment issues no matter what you try. But what I would suggest you do is get on a schedule. Make sure the dog is going out, on a scheduled basis day by day. If it changes work day to a day you have off, that's fine. But you need to have a written schedule for those days of in and out. So you're sticking to it. You're creating predictability for the puppy that they can depend on, and it will build confidence in the process. I also would suggest getting that puppy out of your room. And then I would make sure that you are giving enough play, physical and mental stimulation I said mental last, but it should go first because it's actually the most important thing. It is the most important thing. Man, what is that Cesar Millan phrase? What does he say? Respect, exercise, love. I always forget. But I always forget when I'm put on the spot. I don't forget if you just ask me, face to face. But it's like love, comes discipline, respect, love. There's a reason love is after those other things. I hope I'm not wrong. There's a reason love is after.
It's affection, same thing.
Yeah, it's affection, yeah. It's so important because those other things need to be in a good place and need to be balanced before you're giving affection. And that doesn't mean like 2 weeks of none and then you can give affection. No, it just means if your puppy comes up to you and demand attention and you just give it to them right away, you are not practicing, the mental work first.
Exercise, discipline, affection.
Exercise, discipline, affection. Thank you, Ricky. You're not practicing the mental stimulation, the physical stimulation. That's what discipline, like if I say mental stimulation, there's a discipline in that. And that's why you get calmer puppies. It's just a nicer and I think more clear way of explaining it. Not that Caesar's not clear, but you know what I mean. So it's like mental, discipline, physical, and then affection. And so if you don't practice it in that category, you're gonna get a very unbalanced puppy. And it sounds like from the beginning, you're already having some of those issues for whatever reason. Sleeping in the bed, genetic disposition, having a puppy really young, all of those things. And so you really need to look at your day and how you're interacting with your puppy when you're sharing excitement and love is so critical, guys. It's so critical for all of you. Okay. What time? How am I doing on time? Woohoo! I still have time. Boy, my Instagram's being weird. Have I missed any questions or am I good? Okay.
There's some that have came through on TikTok, but I can't read them.
I'm going to read TikTok. I'm going to screw up all of the other videos because I don't want to leave you out. Let's see. Marlene asks an interesting question that I don't really have enough details on, but I'm gonna try. Let's see, what to do when you're trying to correct puppy. Oh, correct, not connect. Boy, I need glasses. No, Marlene, that was great. I was wrong. So this is even better than what I thought it was. What to do when you're trying to correct puppy behaviors, but your puppy just thinks you're playing. This is one we deal with all the time. And honestly, Marlene, if you just heard my whole speech on that took forever to get to because my amazing mom brain, but the discipline, physical exercise, discipline, affection. If you just heard that whole speech, that is really what you need to focus on in a really big way because it's very hard. You cannot correct a dog or a puppy in any way and expect it to land, expect the puppy to understand if the relationship is in balance. So I have to say that first before I kind of go into a little bit more detail, but it's really important that we don't just correct dogs or puppies. Like nature is a correction. And when we take away nature, which we've put them in a bubble in our homes, we do need to replicate it in some way. But that can be really challenging if it's kind of been a little bit too soft in the home, a little bit of a free-for-all, or even if you have been strict. We have a new corgi right now that seems to be like a real corgi. Like, go get this corgi, some other corgis, and let them run around and herd some cattle. Because you sometimes get a dog that really is so specific to their job, their instincts are cranked up, and so they're going to be a much more challenging puppy than maybe what you expected. Maybe you are firm and have a schedule and all these things, but you accidentally got a dog or a puppy that's firmer energy than you. There are so many things that can happen within dog training that makes this not as easy as the 90-second TikToks. Is that what they are now? That will lead you to believe all these little clips of reactive and then all of a sudden they're great. It's like, no, they're not. But it looks nice and you can get some tips from those things. But real life is, more nuanced than that. So you have to come at it from different angles. So my thing would be, what do your thresholds look like? Can your puppy, can you go and open a door and your puppy as young as 10, 12, 14 weeks wait at that door for permission to walk through it. You know, you can use that for indoor, anything that opens, indoor doors that open, exterior doors, crate, all of those things. Are you giving them a lot of affection when they run and put their cute little paws on you? Or are you telling them, no, wait, come to me calmly, praise calmness? Because in the dog world, overexcitement is corrected, and sometimes corrected severely. And so we don't even need to do that. We just need to not feed into it, right? Just a little like no, you know, and just bump off and ignore and really focus on rewarding calmness. And so for me, I would focus on those types of things just as much as, well, how are you correcting your puppy when they are, you know, don't believe you and kind of, you know, maybe getting feisty. If you walk into them and say no, and then they just go feisty and run around the room, is there a leash on your puppy every time they're out of crate? And so there's a lot more to your question, Marlene, but hopefully I've given you a bit of a starting point. And guys, we have an online school where we go in depth into all of these things that I have to mention my shameless plug because Marlene gave me the opportunity. And so you can go to the puppyacademy.com and see our online school where we are, from what I can tell, this was our goal, the most in-depth puppy program you can find. And so I'll leave you guys with that. It is 1:30. I would love to do, like, I don't know why I want to sleep. I always want to squeeze in like one more, but I think we're good. All right, guys, it was a pleasure, and I'll see you same time, same place next week. Bye.
Thanks for tuning into Ask a Puppy Trainer Show.
We hope you found some advice that you can use to help make puppyhood a little easier.
Don't forget to join us live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time on Instagram or TikTok at The Puppy Academy.
This is where you can get a chance to ask your burning questions in real time. And if you want even more puppy guidance, visit our website at thepuppyacademy.com for info on joining our online puppy school.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing to our podcast and leaving us a review.
These reviews let more people find us and supports us on our mission to help as many puppy parents as possible around the globe.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.